this underground water tank I'm standing on. This is the easternmost boundary of my farm. You can see my fence post over there. So that's another person's farm. And it is the highest area of my farm. So from here on towards the west, it slopes down. So what used to happen was all the water from my house used to run off to the west. And it's a really steep gradient over there. So with this arrangement, what I've done is I've brought the water from there to here, which is the easternmost and the highest part of my farm, and stored some of the water here. And what excess water is there now runs off into the land near the borewell. That is the borewell. So it kind of recharges the entire land here, and it is working really well because now my land is saturated with water. I told you that there is no better tank than soil. I'll show you. Here I can feel my feet sinking into this. Can you see this? So this eastern area of my land was quite dry in the sense that plants didn't see those two jackfruit plants. They are 8-9 years old. They were struggling, and I hope that with this arrangement where that water is held and first allowed to saturate this area, I hope that they will take off better. They'll have a better future. So can you see? So the idea is to allow the water to stand in the soil for as long as possible so that the land gets a chance to absorb all the water. See, I've tried to make small little swales as much as possible to stop the water from running off to the west side. That is the west side. As you can see, my land slopes to the west side quite steeply. The next step, next year, I will build small crescent shaped swales near each tree. Just a C-shaped swale facing the east so that I slow down the water further. Of course, all these tanks are full. I have 10,500 liters of pure water stored above ground. So I have no need for water anymore. And those who comment that you have such a large area, we don't have such a large area of land. It's not about the area of land. All this water is from my roof. If you have a house, I don't have a house that is built in the entire area. I'm just harvesting the water that is falling on my roof. So how does it matter whether your house is built in a city or in a rural area? So you can see here too, I've built small swales. It may seem insignificant, but I don't allow the water to run off. There too you see, I've allowed the water to pool and collect. I don't try to evacuate the water as soon as possible. So that is the idea. Of course, these are all full and I'm so happy. So nothing makes a South Indian happier than good rains. So if you find water pooling somewhere, that's a good thing. I'll show you further down. Here too you can see towards the south side, my land tapers. The reason why the view is so beautiful from here is because this plot of land is at a very high elevation. The disadvantage of that is that the water runs off rapidly. So even though it is beautiful, it's quite dry. The soil becomes dry quite easily. So do you see that bald patch over there? That is super saturated with water. Do you see this patch over here? That is full of water. So what I try to do is, in this line also, I try to stop the water. I don't try to stop the water from totally flowing, like damming it up. What I try to do is I try to slow it down. That's all. Do you see a depression over there where you see that arc of big plants? There is a small depression there. There are also water pools. See, if you see something like this, it is runoff. So this runoff is not good. It's not good for the land. Can you see the marks, the runoff marks? I hope you can see it now. I think you can see it very clearly here. This is water runoff. This is not good. So what I have to do is, I have to build a small water diverter here, so that the water hits that and runs off into my land rather than go out. Can you see that? So these water droplets fall on this plant and whatever, and this is a natural channel here. It's like a little canal. Okay, it's raining. We got to go. Hey, Vada! Odia. Po. Good boy. So this is wonderful. Rains are here and I'm getting to see what works and what doesn't work. See, this is what should happen. I should build small pools. It may seem insignificant, those little depressions, but they have enormous, collectively they have enormous power. Another question that is asked is, why can't we just dig a pond? Pond is useful if you have a large swath of land. I don't have much land. I have a very tiny piece of land and I can't afford to waste any surface area. So these kind of small little structures do remarkably well. You won't believe it, but small things are very powerful. So if you create enough small structures, they will almost do the same job of a pond. And another thing is, see those tanks that I use to store water, that is just for the humans. It is just for me. So this 10,000 liters of water is sufficient, more than sufficient. 12,000 liters of water is more than sufficient. And on top of that, I have another 14,000 liters of water in that underground. So that is sufficient for me to run the entire year without water. The other water that I need for my plants, I would rather store it in the soil than in a pond and then pump it back or whatever. So my idea is to create small little slowing down structures and have a lot of mulch. So again, this is an experiment. I do not know whether I am right or wrong. I am just trying something out. Only time will tell whether I am right or wrong, but it's a whole lot of fun. Whether I am right or wrong, it is immaterial. It's a lot of fun. it is good to see what works, and it is even better to see what doesn't work, so that I can do better. Anyway, I wish you all well. I'm just so excited and happy to see the rains. Bye bye.